And now we go to Khmelnytsky, where journalist Andrei Dehela is standing by in western Ukraine. Andrei, the attack on Lviv isn't too far from where you are now. Is there concern that Russia is widening its attack?
Yes, it is indeed reasonably close. It's not very close to the city of Khmelnytsky, but it's about 300 kilometers from here. And I wouldn't say that it is a systemic widening of Russia's attacks on different targets in the west of Ukraine. However, it is definitely getting more tense over here because in the first days, in the first week of the war, there have been just very few attacks, very few explosions, very few air raid sirens in this region. But recently we have been getting more and more of those, and more targets have been hit. But of course, there are no reports of any movement of the Russian troops anywhere near this region where I am, or in Lviv, or in Ivano-Frankivsk.
Western officials are warning of a potential Russian chemical weapons attack. If that happens, are Ukrainian residents able to protect and defend themselves against a chemical attack?
Yes, there has been talk about this for a while now, which started with Russia saying through its state-owned media channels that Ukraine, sponsored by the US, is developing biological weapons in different places of the country, which is a claim that has not seen any support, any factual support at all, from which it was deduced that there could be a possibility of Russia using biological weapons in Ukraine. I can't say that I have seen a lot of communication coming from the Ukrainian authorities regarding the ways for civilians, people in Ukrainian cities, how to protect themselves during this kind of an attack. I have seen a few brochures going around with very obscene but very easy to remember ways to distinguish different gases and how to protect yourself from them. But it's not like we're getting respirators or any other protective equipment over here. So it has not yet come to that.
And has there been any indication of the progress to what reports say are Russian forces circling Kyiv? And what would it mean for the capital to come under Russian forces?
The movements of the Russian troops have been reported around Kyiv, trying to encircle the city and start a blockade for the past week or even more. But it has been understood from the very first day of the invasion that Kyiv is at least one of the primary targets of this war, if not the very main one. And of course, the question of preparations for this attack, the question of preparation of the defense has been on from the very first day. And I think by now people in Kyiv are quite confident that the territorial defense forces and the armed forces of Ukraine can repel the attack, and they can hold the capital for a very long time. Because if this happens, that Kyiv is fallen, that Kyiv is occupied by the Russian forces, this could be a decisive blow in this war, and this would help Russia to achieve one of its goals stated by the Ukrainian intelligence also at the beginning of the war, to place a puppet government in Kyiv, and then try to just demolish the statehood of Ukraine and create a puppet republic like they did in the temporarily occupied parts in the east of Ukraine.
Andrei Dehela, live for us in western Ukraine. Thank you.